Hakuo listeners, let's learn sumo. I'm Clayton. Welcome to the podcast. Thanks for joining me again. You can join me on X and Insta and even YouTube, where this is restreamed and there are a few video episodes. Drop me a comment or a message on any of those platforms. If you like my content, you can donate to my Kimboshi fund. Just helps me pay for a few of the subscriptions that keep the channel going. The Buy Me a Coffee link is in the comments, also on the Insta. You can just enjoy the pod otherwise. Okay. The AI thumbnail has gotten some, how shall we say, love in the comments. I commit to finding a new image that doesn't include an AI shared arm between the two wrestlers for the January Basho. I will dig into my personal images for something a bit more appropriate. Thanks to my listeners for the suggestions. Duly noted. You can drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Anyway, on to the fights. Welcome to day 4 of the November Grand Sumo Tournament from Kyushu in Japan. The leaders, they are finally working their way to the front of the field with only 2 undefeated so far, and only one of them is in the Sanyaku. So, Onosato faced Wakamoto Haru tonight. Now, Wakamoto Haru has 2 Kimboshi's Gold Star wins over Yokozuna so far, so he is well capable of beating Yokozuna. He gave it as a really good go tonight. He got a good belt grip off the tachi-ai. I think Onosato almost expected a henka, and he didn't fire forward. He almost just stood up at the tachi-ai, which is exactly what the henka is achieving for your future fights. Gets in the head of your opponent, particularly if they are a hard-charging power charger like the Yokozuna. Anyway, that allowed Wakamoto Haru to fire in himself, get a good grip. He threw that left hand in on the belt, got the right hand on the body, but Onosato still had the power to drive Wakamoto Haru back to his favoured bail position. Wakamoto Haru, he had a left belt, the right body. As I said, he tried to use it by dragging Onosato back around off the bales, but the Yokozuna followed his momentum, forced him back to the bales, forced him over like a hopping frog. Wakamoto Haru went down pretty hard on the corner, squashed the salt basket. Looked like that hurt. 5-0 for Onosato. He is in the lead. 1-4 for Wakamoto Haru. Hoshoryu, the Yokozuna, faced Hira de Umi. Hira, he just fired in as Hoshoryu tried to go for the belt. He missed it. Hoshoryu was slightly retreating as he grabbed Hiradumi's upper arm and then pulls him around and down. It wasn't the cleanest move, but it was effective. It got Hiradumi down to the ground. They did call it a Hataki slap down, but you'd be forgiven for thinking a Tsukinage beltless throw, even a Tsukiyatoshi thrust down it looked more like. But either way, 4-1 for Hoshoryu, 2-3 for Hiradoumi. Now, we will skip to Aonishiki's fight with Wakataka Kage. You'll see why shortly. Sekiwake Aonishiki, now he's undefeated coming into tonight's fight. He fired out of the tachi-ai fast as Wakataka Kage fired left. Big henka got a hand on his neck, helped him down to the dirt. They called it an okuri tayoshi rear pushdown, but a dirty henka it was for Wakataka Kage, his first win. Sekiwake Aonishiki, that's his first loss, 4-1, 1-4 for Wakataka Kage. That will slow Aonishiki down next time he faces Wakataka Kage. Korizakura Ozeki, he faced Ura, and wouldn't you call it, Korizakura tried half a henka on Ura to the right, but he was $1 short and a day late as Ura followed the Ozeki, drove him back and over with a low charge. He just wasn't fast enough, it wasn't committed enough for Korizakura. Ura gets his third win, Korizakura 2-3. Oho faced the big bear Takayasu, wore an elbow to the face off the tachi-ai for his troubles. He then delivered a good slap to the bear as Takayasu then chased Oho. Oho fired not a word, did face grabs, Takayasu, he just kept coming at him, kept pressuring Oho. Oho escaped a belt grab, but Takayasu, he got onto the front of the belt and pressured Oho back to the bales. Now, Oho, he escaped again, got his hips moving, but he was on a big retreat across the other side of the ring, unbalanced. Takayasu chasing him and over the bales. Oshidashi win for Takayasu, and a pretty good start this week, 4-1. Oho in the Sekiwake position. Look, given it's a hard week in Sekiwake, 2-3, he can do a bit more this for the rest of the tournament, I should say. Takanosho, he continued his horror start in the the Komusubi position. He's in the joy, but there's not much joy for him. Bit of a loss to Haku Oho. Easy drive out Oshidashi win for Haku Oho. 2-3 for him. Winless for Takanosho. Kirishima, he faced veteran Tamawashi. It's a long historied rivalry. 12-4 in Kirishima's favour coming into tonight. There's a pretty good touchy eye as Kirishima drives, but Tamawashi, he almost got the slap down on Kirishima. Tamawashi, however, he retreated too far with that slap down. Kirishima recovered. And as Tamawashi drove forward, Kirishima got a return slap down on him. 2-3 for Kirishima, 3-2 for Tamawashi. Shodai, he snatched defeat from the jaws of victory against Yoshino Fuji, our former Kusano. I'll move fully to Yoshino Fuji in January, maybe. He looked to have Yoshino Fuji on the bales, but Yoshino Fuji, he just pivoted and helped Shodai over the bales. Didn't see that one coming. 4-1 for Yoshino Fuji, having a really good, strong start this week. 1-4 for Shodai. A slow-moving drive-out win for Atami Fuji over Oshoma. Just more torque than speed there. Atami Fuji for wins. Tobizaru, he tried and did a big air swing kick, which allowed Ichi Yamamoto to push him down and over. 3 wins for Ichi Yamamoto. Fight of the Basho so far, and on my list of fights of the year, Midori Fuji and Okinawan Tsuranumi. Midori Fuji, he went for a grip off the touchy eye, but he missed it. He drove Tsuranumi back to the bales with his Oshi pushing. He got a right inside grip at the bales. Midori Fuji got his left inside, but at the armpit, Tsuranumi locked his hand up. Midori Fuji broke it and then drove his left hand to the belt at the back. That gave Midori Fuji a double inside grip, and Tsuranumi was in trouble. He had no grip as Midori Fuji held him and moved him around a bit. Midori Fuji then withdrew, let go of the left, and dragged his hand on the belt with the right and tried to change his balance and do a big Oshi drive on Tsuranumi. But Tsuranumi, a bit bigger, he defended, and Midori Fuji, he tried that again, the big drag and push. They locked up again, and then they held for a while. They leaned on each other as they sought a little bit of hand position, but Midori Fuji drove Tsuranumi up and tried to drag and push again, but no effect. They locked up again for a little while, and you could see they were running out of gas. Midori Fuji, he tried to drive and drag 2 times, then 3 times, and Tsuranumi kept holding. Then he tried a 4th time and a 5th time, and Tsuranumi defended yet again, but he was simply out of energy. On the 6th go, Midori Fuji did the big right-hand drag on the belt, drove Tsuranumi, which put him, the very worn-out Tsuranumi, off balance for the push-out, eventually giving the win. Yorakiri frontal force-out win for Midori Fuji. 2 wins, 3 losses. Tsuranumi 3-2, not doing too bad, but that was quite the fight. Really, they both put everything into that one, and Midori Fuji won on pure endurance. Daisho, he got a scrappy Hatakikomi win over Kimbozan, but a win is a win. 3 wins for Daisho. Fujinakawa, the pocket rocket, well look, he just impresses with his speed and power. He faced Yusho winner Kotoshoho tonight and just fired out of the touchy eye, blasted a much bigger Kotoshoho out of the ring. Sukadashi thrust out some really good powerful hits. Fujinakawa joins the joint leader with Yokozuna Onosato at 5 wins. Impressive. Roga, he got himself a win over Shishi by yanking on the belt, making Shishi grab for the floor. Bit amateurish there from Shishi. 3 wins for Roga. Ryuden, he moved to 4 wins with a good endurance win on the belt against Chiyoshima Watadashinage as he pulled him across the ring to win that. Nishiki Fuji, he opened the door on Goniyama for his 4th win. So that is day 5. The 2 leaders undefeated. I am sure Hoshoryu is still kicking himself about that first day loss. Nishiki, he'll be kicking himself tonight after dropping a match and gives Hoshoryu a chance to catch up to Onosato without having to catch both Nishiki and Onosato at the same time. It's in their hands now. Join me again, folks. Takioi. Let's learn sumo.